89% of people say that watching a video has convinced them to buy something.
A lot of the times we don't contact the people because we have insert idea or thought about it's spammy, it's scammy, it's gross, they're going to tell us to f*** off. And in reality, when you're calling your prospects or someone that's inquired with you, you're calling them out of service, not to sell them something, because everyone that reaches out to you has a problem. Welcome to the Success School podcast. We're on episode 82 today, and we have something super exciting. Steph, what are you excited about?
I'm so excited. I love our year this year. We have just got so many cool live events and workshops that we are bringing to the forefront. And in 2 days' time, we are running a cool free workshop to help you get your next 10 clients. We're going to help you build out a heck yes offer. We're going to help you nail your messaging around it, and we're going to help you market it so that you can get your next 10 clients for free with ease. And we're super excited to run through that. And like I said, it's free, so you should definitely get there. We have had hundreds of people registered already. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
The URL is next10clients.com, and that is the number 10. And then it's going to be in the show notes below if you guys want to register. So maybe we kick off with personal updates.
Would love a personal update.
So I have been sleeping with someone else, and Steph, I'm really sorry, and I know I made the marital vow to never do it, but I've lied and I've cheated, and I've been sleeping with the bed.
Is she hot?
She's hot. She's really on time. She's really punctual, and she keeps great records.
Yeah.
So everything you're not.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm lying. We bought a new bed. It's called 8 Sleep. It tracks your sleep and it keeps your bed cold. And
hot.
And hot, if you want it. So basically, there's like an algorithm and AI in there. I call her Stephanie because I call my wife Steph. So Stephanie is just like her alter ego sister. And it adjusts to your body temperature to keep you in the optimal temperature for sleeping. It says it increases your deep sleep by 25%. And just in case you guys were wondering, I was the first person in our relationship to have a 100 sleep score. So defeated
Which
Steph.
is
On that one.
It's unusual because I am actually a sleep queen,
You
but
were.
I was, but
You
I have
were.
had 200s in a row lately, so it's been very,
I've had 3.
very good. Yeah,
300s in a row.
Tim is ahead.
How have you found the 8 Sleep or
It
our,
has the 8 Sleep has been amazing. Our third wheel.
Yeah, third wheel in the relationship.
The 8 Sleep has been amazing. The first week was terrible.
Oh, so
the
bad.
first week was so bad. Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, so we don't do anything in half measures around here on Team Success School. So the bed goes down to -10. So I was like, I sleep hot. I can take it. -10. And I woke up in the night and my you-know-what was shrinking because it was so cold, and I feel like I had to go to hospital to get it revived because it was so cold. And I woke up shivering, everything was hurting, and I was like, what is going on? This literally feels like -10. And then the next night I went too hot, so it probably took about 3 days to
I did. It was the
adjust.
worst. And it's not like instant to cool up and cool down.
Yeah.
So it took some time. I didn't go -10, but I think I went -6. And we really messed up. Like I was freezing,
Ruined my sleep.
shivering.
Worst night's sleep I've had.
So bad. So it took a little while to adjust to, but I do love it now. While we're on the
You've been
topic,
biohacking.
while we're on the topic of sleep, I will share my personal update. We have
Mums
definitely...
are going to freak out. You sleep well.
Yeah, God. Guys, I share my sleep scores on Instagram, and I get it. I know, mums. I know you guys are tired. I get it. I totally...
You don't have to let Steph know
truly
every
understand, but every single time you guys are like, well, you're so lucky. And get triggered by it.
Condoms, baby.
Loving reminder that we are trying to have children, okay?
Yeah.
Loving reminder that is
Yeah.
not something that we have been gifted with yet. And when we
Yeah.
are, I will join you in the ranks of sleepless nights, and we can complain about it together.
Yeah.
Right now, mouth taping. Kinky. It sounds
Very kinky.
sounds more kinky than it is.
The complaints have dried up.
So I've been experimenting with mouth taping. I have always been a little bit interested in it. I know I'm a mouth breather, and especially at night because I wake up multiple times in the night and my mouth will be dry. And so I knew that I was a mouth breather. And I was told by a few friends that mouth taping really helps and that it helps you sleep better. And then we started looking up mouth taping before and afters on Google. And do yourself a favor, have a look up mouth taping before and afters, and it actually changes your entire face shape, which is so, so interesting. So anyway, I started mouth taping. We're using a brand, I can't remember what it's called, so I can't even influence them. I think it's called Respire. And you tape your mouth over for the night and you basically just breathe through your nose the entire evening. And pretty much as soon as I started mouth taping, 100 sleep scores. What do you know? The breathing through the nose is so cathartic. It is the most relaxing and calming thing in the world. So I'm loving it.
It's calming on the other end as well.
Yeah, much less noise.
Much less like this fucking little pug in bed, you know? Like that's what Steph is. So
today's episode, guys,
yeah,
what are we talking about? Not biohacking. Although maybe we should do an episode on biohacking. Guys, you let us know if you want us to do an episode on biohacking. You've heard people use the saying that people buy from people, not brands. And that's not entirely true. Obviously, there are a lot of brands that people buy from, but they definitely buy from people and trust brands that they know, like, and trust. And they're not going to buy unless they have those three key elements. And in 2025, Tim and I have been forecasting and we've been chatting with a lot of people and we're feeling our forecast. Our crystal balls are starting to, I think, get warm and they're starting to move and vibrate with the energy of being correct. But we're seeing a shift towards long form format, a lot of long form content, more personal touch points, for example, calling the leads, having a lot more interaction with your audience and with your community. And I think that while short form will always have a place, we're even seeing some short form turn into kind of long form. So we're seeing on TikTok, people are doing series or they're doing, even Instagram still, but on TikTok as well, they're doing lives and they're talking for 10, 15 minutes. People want to get to know the people behind brands. And so we saw, and we've been doing some statistics and a bit of research around this, but long form format saw an 11,000% growth in the last 10 years, which is huge. So more and more people are using it.
That was all Joe Rogan.
80, yeah, it probably was.
Totally.
It actually was.
10,900% Joe Rogan.
And 89% of people say that watching a video has convinced them to buy something. And we are 100% those people.
Yeah. What haven't we bought on video?
Dude, we buy a lot, which is why I think that we're really good to coach because we are like the best consumers. We'll buy
anything.
I sent Tim an ad yesterday. I was like, this is a really good ad. Like we should replicate it for our own business. It was something completely not what we do at all. And an hour later, Tim was like, I'm watching that course you sent me. And I was like, no, Tim, I sent you the ad, not the course. So
but it led to the course. So I had to see what the implementation was.
And so we are the best consumers of long form content and purchasing on the back of long form content. We've actually made like $30,000, $60,000 investments off the back of people's podcasts and things like that. So we know that this works, right? So let's talk about long form and how people can use it because not everybody is ready to start a YouTube channel or have 4 cameras recording them doing a podcast setup. So if someone was wanting to do long form content this year, but they weren't quite ready to have a full on production, how could somebody potentially integrate long form into their short form?
How about we go one-on-one and then we'll see who runs out ideas first on how to implement
I'm down.
this.
Let's do it.
So I'll kick off a little bit of a out of left field one to kick us off today. So recording Loom videos for people that message you, say they message you with a question or an email or whatever it is, you can go back to them on a Loom video, obviously explain it, give the why, give the reason, make it personal, make it the answer personalized to them. The goal here with this whole long form or why we're doing it is we want to get someone to consume 7 hours of your content. So that's going to help. That's my first one. How about you, Steph?
Okay, my one will be off the back of that. Also using Loom. Loom is if you're not using Loom, guys, it's an incredible tech resource or tool. So I highly recommend getting onto it. But if you create like a lead magnet that's a checklist or a document or a guide or whatever, just record a 5 to 10 minute video of you talking through the guide, introduce yourself, introduce why this guide's important. Just walk through the guide, add some anecdotes, stories, examples, those sorts of things. All of a sudden, it might be going for 15 to 20 minutes. Attach it, hey, watch the video training here. And then you can even advertise it on your socials as a video training. Okay, so really easy win there, Tim.
Number 3 for me, and we were on a call with Jade Spooner the other day, and she gave us this idea, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, my life's boring. I can't do this, but a day in a life, just to take you through the watcher, exactly what you do in your days, like a coaching call, clients, you helping them, running through your service, building a social media management plan, whatever you do in your business, but walking us through it. What does your breakfast look like? What is your lunch? Do you walk your dogs? Do you play with your kids? Like, what does it look like for us to be in your shoes? That could be a minute, could be 2, could be 3, could be 10, could be whatever it is, but you've just got to realize that Unless you're probably like an accountant and you wake up and do nothing and drink a coffee and go to work and go to bed, then there's probably stuff that people would be interested in.
I reckon
your
there's
life.
cool spreadsheet stuff
Yeah,
they're doing.
there'd be cool spreadsheet porn.
Yeah, for sure.
We could watch.
On the back of that, guys, you don't even have to record it as like a YouTube. You could record it just on your stories
Yeah,
and just
that's what I mean.
literally document like 10 to 30 second just parts of your day for sure.
Yeah.
All right, number 4 for me would be Instagram Lives. Instagram Lives are a really great way. You can go live on your own. You can go live with other people. Maybe if you're going to pop your Instagram Live cherry, a really good way is to do it with somebody else or just ask them questions and have a conversation just like Tim and I are having right now. They still perform really well. And if you use 2 people like myself and Tim, if we both go live, the benefit is that our followers would follow the other person as well. You can save it to your feed. You can hide it from your feed. It's up to you. So that definitely works. Tim?
Number 5, we're getting towards the pointy end here. These are getting a little bit harder.
Yep.
But what I'm going to go is long form writing.
Ooh,
instead of video right there.
nice.
You didn't see that coming. So a lot of people have turned their Facebook or personal Facebook pages into blogs, and they basically just blog about what they're up to, their day, what they're doing in their life, what are their thoughts, what are their thought leadership on certain things in their industry. And I see this play out on Facebook, and I love it. I love following heaps of people that just write interesting shit online. It's incredible. So long form writing, especially if you're a writer and you've got a face for radio, could be much better for you.
So polite.
I'm kidding.
Okay, well, off the back of that, this is not where I was going to go. I'm going to go here now. Blogs. So actual blogs.
You're
Actual
just
blogs.
saying what I'm
And
saying.
actually, that's how I started House of Hobby. So my
Really?
first ever business, I started with blogging because I wasn't really, I couldn't sell tickets. So I just thought, well, what can I do? And you were just like, just write stuff. And so I used to write these blogs, and then I'd write the blogs, I'd publish them on my website. Obviously, there was no website traffic. So then what I would do is I would take the link to the blog and I would post it on my personal Facebook and on my Instagram. And I'd be like, hey, I just wrote this blog about X. Go have a read. And like people would go and read it. And then it built over time. Like blogging is cool and great for SEO as well. Next.
So this is probably the last one.
No, it's not. I've got more.
Oh, Steph's got more.
Yeah.
Well, let's take it to email.
Oh, no.
Let's share your thoughts on Facebook on email.
Okay, I'm going to go. Yeah. Okay, so email,
There we
sure.
go, 7.
TikTok lives.
You said lives. You
what's
can't
the
just keep going on
word?
lives here.
Okay, what about Twitch? Twitch streams?
It's going to twitch your day.
I feel like there's definitely more, but you guys get the point, okay? You can do a lot of long form even when you have short form. It doesn't mean you have to have a full-on channel. It doesn't mean that you have to have 3 cameras recording you for a podcast studio setup. Like this it can be a lot smaller, but I highly recommend trying at least for 1 a month on long form.
Corey, just admit here, Steph said the same thing 4 times for all of her calls, just in different mediums and formats. Steph, give us some time here. How much time does good long form take? And like, how would you approach the process of doing long form?
Well, we actually just recorded a really cool training and success school called the Long Form Formula. So if you're a client and you're watching this, go have a watch of that. But anything new takes time. I'm going to just put that out there. If you're starting something from scratch, like for the first time ever, it's going to take you forever. If you're just starting copywriting, you're going to suck at it. It's going to take you ages. If you just start, taking video content on your phone and you've never spoken to camera before, you're probably going to do 42 takes before you press live.
Yeah.
Like it takes time. Like you have to suck before you get good. But if you have already got a background in speaking and, you were speaking to school students every day, for example, if you're a teacher, then podcasting might be really natural and really easy for you. So I think probably do the thing that feels most natural for you first. And if none of it feels like, if you're really bad at camera, you're really bad at speaking, then maybe start with writing. I think just start with where your natural skills lie and try not to go too far out of your natural skill set. How long does good long form take? Honestly, I mean,
How long's a piece of string?
Yeah, we've seen, Joe Rogan's podcast go for 3 hours. Unless you're Joe Rogan, or Chris Williamson, I probably wouldn't recommend doing that. You're probably not there yet.
Yeah.
But good long form recording time, somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes is pretty much the sweet spot. And it will probably take you a little bit longer to prep, probably a half hour before that to prep and to get everything set up. And, maybe an hour it should take for good long form content. Again, if you're new to it, it's probably going to take you 2 because that's just how long it takes. So it does take some time to get good at it, I think. Off the back of that, Tim, how would you know it was time to start a YouTube or a podcast? And I guess who should start a YouTube or a podcast?
You'll know it's the right time to start YouTube or podcast when you have the commitment piece dialed in. And what I mean by the commitment piece is if you can commit to it for 1 year, okay? And whether your cadence or frequency is monthly, fortnightly, or weekly, pick one, stick to it, commit to it for a year. If you can do that and you can go through the planning, you can go through the writing, you can go through the recording and editing and publishing, and you can do all that consistently on whatever cadence you're at, you're ready for it. you've just got to really know that it's probably going to suck. Okay. Especially when you get started, it's going to be really bad. You're going to have one viewer, no subscribers, and it's going to be very hard to get started. If you're okay with all of that, then you're ready to get started. But if you're expecting to go 0 to Joe Rogan in 3 months, you're going to be sorely mistaken, because long form is even harder to get views than just short form on top of that. And it's got to be better because you need to keep people entertained for quite a long time.
Yeah, like what episode number is Joe Rogan up to?
Like 2,500.
Yeah, like, and I feel like he only got good in 2020, like really nailed it in 2020. So, and Chris Williamson's been doing it for 5 years before I think that's his name. We always just call him Chris Wills, but something like that.
Chris W.
And we have a anecdote or a story about a guy who wrote a blog for 7 years, and then all of a sudden one day it just blew up and everyone was reading his blog. Like, guys, it takes time. So if your ego can't handle the fact that you're going to be shit to start with, like, how many subscribers do we have?
I mean, we've only got 300 now on YouTube.
We are so grateful for every single one of you. Thank
guys.
you so much. And we've been doing this years. You can't let your ego drive the show when it comes to starting something new like this. You have to be okay with the fact that it's going to take the better part of a decade to produce something really magical if this is what you want to do long term.
We've done 400 odd episodes between us of a podcast, and like we've just got 300 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like, think about that, guys. 400 episodes.
And everyone's like,
it takes us an hour to set up the set here.
Yeah.
Like, think about how much effort goes into this.
Totally. Yeah. It's such a commitment.
Steph, give us your number one lesson you've learned from long form, and then I'll give you mine.
I think ours will be the same. I think I'm not going to use the word, but I do think you need to be completely yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't do that for a very long time because I was scared that, honestly, I was scared that people wouldn't like me. That, the way that we converse now, if you listen to our earlier episodes and if you listen to my previous podcast, which is called The Steph Gordon Show, like it really didn't, I was really scared to make jokes or have fun because I didn't want to offend somebody or to piss somebody off or for somebody to be like, oh, she said this, or to get cancelled. And
back when you could get cancelled.
Yeah.
I don't think you can anymore.
Like we just watched a friend get taken down pretty badly.
Did we?
Yeah, Tony.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not that bad.
Oh, yeah, but I wouldn't want to go through it.
Yeah, no one would. But
no, yeah. Anyway, so I do think that for me, it's taken a long time to be ballsy enough to be myself. And once you do, one, podcast listeners like froth it way more. You build way more loyal friends. And two, it's just way easier and way more fun to create content. So my advice is like, just be yourself early in. It's not going to make a massive difference. Yeah. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, mine exactly the same. Just from my perspective, I'm quite a shoot from the hip kind of guy, and I'll just say whatever is on my mind. I don't really filter it. And then, back in the old days, coming on the podcast, back in the old days, I mean like a year ago, coming on the podcast and having to politically correct myself is not the funnest way to spend my afternoon recording 3 podcast episodes and having to put on a filter and tell our editors, oh, cut that out, don't do this, don't do this. It's just not fun. And I guess like we do this business thing and this podcast for fun. And if it becomes unfun, it's not fun for you guys either. Fun.
It's not sustainable either. Yeah. Like if you're not enjoying it, guys, it's not sustainable. So I want to circle back. At the beginning, we kind of spoke about, so there's long form, amazing. But at the beginning, we also spoke about the fact that, this year we are going to see a lot more people interacting with their communities and interacting with their audience. So we've given you a lot of options about how to do that and really build that brand. Tim will call it brandwidth or brandability, how to really build that brand using long form content. But there are other ways that you can touch base with and connect with your audience. And so one of the ways that we spoke about earlier was calling the leads. Tim, do you just want to talk us through what calling the leads actually is and why people have such an aversion to it?
Yeah, so calling the leads, if someone inquires and submits their details on a lead magnet of yours or a download or a VSL or whatever it is, and they say, here's my phone number, give me the thing, they are indicating to you that it is okay for you to contact them on those mediums because generally they're ticking a box that's saying so anyway. And then a lot of the times we don't contact the people because we have insert idea or thought about it's spammy, it's scammy, it's gross, they're going to tell us to fuck off, any other reason why you wouldn't call someone. But in reality, when you're calling your prospects or someone that's inquired with you, you're calling them out of service, not to sell them something, because everyone that reaches out to you has a problem. That's why they've raised their hand and they've said, I have this problem that you solve, and whatever this is with the lead magnet download or VSL or whatever it is, you're solving their problem. So it would be incongruent or dishonest or not doing the right thing in regard to what you said in business if you didn't reach out to them and you didn't offer them help. And that's the way I see calling the leads. I don't see calling the leads as, hey, you download a lead magnet for success, go and call you up and fucking sell your shit right now, immediately. It's no, you've got a problem. We're going to solve that problem.
And I think that I want to be really clear. When we talk about calling the leads, we're not calling people to sell them stuff. Just to be very clear. We're usually saying, hey, you've downloaded this thing. Obviously, you've got this problem. Is there any way that we can help? That's like 95% of the way the conversation goes. And if they say that they're not looking to get any support with it right now, that's cool. We'll send them something else for free. If they say that they are looking to get some help, we might offer them another call to help them brainstorm or, book in one of our scale sessions or whatever. And if on that call, they, we show them enough value and they feel like they have enough interest and enough know, like, and trust with us, then yeah, maybe they'll book Success School. But that's not the necessary intention. Like, it is about building a community. It is about having a lot of touch points with people. It is about warming your audience. It's not always about making sales. And we are so big on the audience build and the audience touch points. And that's why we do it.
Steph, why did we start calling the leads like officially or immediately?
We started calling the leads because we could see that DM outreach was no longer working the way that it used to. I've been really big on building community for a long time, and we've been running DM strategies since before DM strategies became a thing. And two and a half years ago, I was reaching out and touching base with every single person that followed me. Personally, I was getting in there and having conversations with people and saying thank you so much. And it was such an incredible way for me to build my community that, I taught it to other people. And then obviously everything, it's not me that started it, but everything becomes very mainstream and everyone's doing it. Instagram brought in regulations around
who you could DM
and how you could DM and all this stuff. And it became harder and harder. And we were like, well, why don't we just take this and try calling people and talking to our community and seeing if they need help or what they're struggling with and get some more data on the board. So that's what we did. Why does it work and do people like it?
Those who like it really like it, and those that don't really don't. So you're going to have a subset of 100 people, and let's say 20 people are absolute mad fans of yours because you've called them and you've taken time out of your day and you've given them energy, and it's not just some copy and paste message. You can't replicate it. You can't AI it yet, which is incredible. And a lot of people think like that. And other people are like, leave me the fuck alone. Why are you calling me? So some people really like it, some don't. It's like people prefer different things, Some people prefer reading, some prefer audiobooks, some prefer listening. So from us, as a business perspective, we call, we text, we email, and we DM. Yep. So we do the full gambit. Whatever platform you like, if you like some form of communication and you want to hear from a human ever, we got you covered. But we wanted to add that in, and it's been super fruitful for us. We've got some of our best clients that have joined, and we've helped from calling them.
People have been calling leads for decades.
Yeah, that's
honestly, it's the most used form of contact ever. Obviously, before we had text messages, before we had Instagram, this was the only way of doing business. And I learned calling when I was 21. I had a recruitment position and we had to do $100 a day and make as many touch points and try and build as many relationships as we could. And that was just I did that every day for 2 years, 6 days a week. So if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, oh, I couldn't do that, like businesses have been doing this forever. It works. It has worked forever. I think it's the clients of ours that have started calling the leads. Yeah, they're like, oh my God, this is uncomfortable and this is scary. But they're also like, wow, this really works. Yeah. So it does work, guys.
Sure. Hey, Steph, how does it work in Success School? Like if you wanted to start calling, like what are the keys? What do you need? Is there a script?
Yeah, you do need a script, guys. And I know the scripting can sound really gross, but like you do need to take control of the conversation. It does need to feel like you're not trying to sell something. You're definitely not calling somebody to say, hey, would you like to come and buy my program that I've got? Like that's no good. Don't do that. You definitely need to lean in with more service. How can we support you? You've inquired on this problem. We do provide a script to our clients in Success School. We do help our clients tailor and change their scripts within Success School, but you definitely need to roll with some sort of script that has ifs and buts in there. So if they say this, then you would say this, like those sorts of things to make it work and to make it viable. And also because let's be real, you probably don't want to call the leads forever. So you may want to outsource this task to somebody else at some point. And if that's the case, then you will definitely need a script to train somebody else on. So do not wing it. Definitely highly recommend putting something together.
All right, guys. So the takeaways today is you need to adapt to the market. Long form is coming. Adapt or die. You will get crushed. We've given you a few ways to get started with long form without having a YouTube or a podcast. There's tons of ways to do it. It's a really good connection piece with your audience. And just call the damn leads, guys.
Yeah.
If you get leads, call them.
Yeah.
Really simple. And if you don't want to call them, text them. And if you don't want to text them, email them. And if you want to be a real savage, do all 4.
And if 2024 was a bit shit for you and you got to the end of 2024 and you're like, something needs to be different in 2025, like things are no longer working the way that they used to. If you've been feeling that way, then nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, you have to do something different. This is the way that the market is adapting. These are the things that will work in 2025. So I highly recommend that you take the lead here and do something different. And if
Mind
you
the pun.
need
Take the lead.
If you need help with this, we would love to invite you to our workshop. Again, 2 days time. How to get your next 10 clients. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We're going to walk you through marketing channels. We're going to walk you through making a hair care offer. We're going to walk you through how to message it so that people genuinely put their hands up, are super interested in it. www.next10clients.com with a 10, number 10. We'd love to see you there. Last 2 days to register.
It's in the show notes, guys, as well, if you just want to click through. As always, guys, thanks for checking out this episode. We would really mega, super love and appreciate you if you hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed to us, leave us a review, tell your friends, tell everybody, share the show.
Don't be a hoe.
Until next time.
Love you guys. Bye.